hot, dude. Ugh.
Oh, come on. You can't be fucking serious.
Whatever.
No.
Like I just went from like a telemarketer on that one breakdown to just like, oh, whoa. Give me this coffee right now. It's nice and chilled because it's fucking warm outside. Like, Jesus Christ. Bloody fucking warm. It's too warm out there, damn it. Went from cold as fuck to warm. I don't like it. I disapprove. I disapprove of this fucking weird, warm, like, winteriness. Because it's, like, got a lot of moisture in here because of it raining so fucking much. It don't fall to snow melt and ice melt and stuff. So now it's just, like, there's moisture everywhere. So now it's just fucking sticking. I guarantee you it's not even really that warm outside, but all the moisture is absorbing it. And it's, like, ugh. I don't like it. Feeling like shit because of it. Yeah, fucking your eyesight. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay. Ooh, I feel good. I also got something new for Zooks. There's a LED light up collar and leash finally came in. So now my dog will stay all nice and lit up whenever we walk around. Well, this actually looks kind of trippy. Looks like a fucking like ring of hot magma or something. But I also have his leash too. This new light up leash as well. I was thinking like this like light up part would be a little bit like longer, but that's not even a big deal. But it also lights up too, of course. And I think this also has like a little yeah, I think I'm pretty sure it has like a little small like, solar panel on there too. So on top of being able to charge it, because I can do that right here from this little thing. I can also, if I wanted to, just like let it sit out in the sun or something. Oregon cryptids. Oregon has one called the Homeless Perpetually Asking for Spare Change. Okay, whatever. What, you're watching like right wing retards, fucking like say how Portland is literally just like some drug infested shithole or something. Get my bowl looped up. Now I'm watching scary crypto videos. What's that guy saying? I didn't know you were gonna fly home. Wait, what? When you hit black ice. Okay, I'm gonna hope Streamlabs works. Please don't be shit. Yeah, it wasn't cool. Wait, so I'm assuming there's something being said here? Play again with audio. Well, I didn't know you were gonna fly home. What the fuck?
You got this. You got this. Hold it together, please. Hold it together. Oh, mama. Mama. Oh. I knew you had it in you.
I knew I had it in you.
I didn't doubt you for 1 second, man. I knew you had it in you, man. I'm proud of you. Are you all right? You all right, goddamn? Okay. Oh. Oh, my. Hey, pull this over. Pull this over. Hey,
Pull this over. I need to like have my moment with Jesus. Like, holy shit. Oh my god, I fucking love it. That's awesome. Damn. Amazing. Love it. I mean, he probably already knew what he was doing. Look like a big rig. Yeah. Look like something like that. That snow you yourself hella fast last couple days. Dude, it's like legit warm as fuck out there. I just came back from grabbing my coffee from work and stuff. And, dude, I was like sweating as I was walking back. Like, I was just like, what the fuck, dude? Why is it like legit warm today? I don't know if you popped in when I was showing it, but Zukov got his little LED. It's a little LED collar. And his leash, too. Oh. So now my little fluff boy, will be able to be seen at night when I'm walking him. Because you're too much of a shadow. Look at you. You goofy little silly baby. Just a goofy little baby. They're so cute. He's a scrolling LED sign on his rear end. Some scrolling LED sign. I'm sure if I looked around, I bet I could find something. Like, legit, probably. Here, play like another tune or two. I actually just have, like, a couple things I wanted to look at today, because Kyle released a video that I was watching, where, like, I don't really check out TLYT at all, but shit is apparently, like, spicy over there right now. Because I don't know why, but I guess they have, like, some, like, Zionistic, like, right-wing dump fuck on there now as like, a talking head. But I think that he's only there to be a punching bag. Because, like, oh my god. Like, I don't want to spoil too much of it, but let's just say it involves Jank, and, it kind of looks like, I mean, Jank wanted to literally just, like, eviscerate this little twerp, dude. It's actually pretty awesome. And I think a great example of what a Zionistic fascist, like, pretending to be a liberal looks like, too. Because, like, good fucking lord, dude. I mean, it is impeccable, like, some of the fucking things this guy says. I mean, I don't want to spoil too much. I mean, it's pretty lengthy clip, so it's not really, I guess, that much to spoil. There's a lot of just juice in there anyway. But, I mean, like, I was just, like, sitting here like, this fucking actual worm weasel is actually fucking trying to, like, just couch his own reality, like, right in front of everyone, basically. And also in front of Jank, too. And it's, like, in knowing Jank and how, like, genuinely kind of passionate he is about this issue, it's just, like, that's a big fucking mistake. And mistake it was. I'd argue it was like, Jank's, like, we can't say son of baby, you dumbass! It's like the equivalent of that, honestly. When Alex Jones, came on, the set back in 2015 or whatever the fuck. It was like it was close to that. Like, it was close to that moment. Like, not there, Not the same spunk, but it was almost there. I was just like, oh, this is the Jake I like to see. Because, like, goddamn, like, he was genuinely fuming. Poor Jank. I mean, he's not my favorite dude, to be honest. Like, I mean, he's, like, you know, he's not, like, he did, like, union busting, you know, at TOIT and shit when they tried to unionize stuff. So, I mean, he kind of rubs me the wrong way about some stuff, to be fair. But, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, I mean, I still, like, you know, outright, you know, like, at least especially, you know, when it comes to him being a fucking firebrand on, you know, like, whether it's, like, universal healthcare or, you know, this whole Gaza situation and shit, like, when that guy pops the fuck off, he pops the fuck off. You know, so it's like, you know, when he's right, he fucking goes off right, being right about it. So I do like, you know, Jank for that. Like, I mean, he's, like, you know, when he has the ability to just, like, you know, be a genuine, like, firebrand motherfucker and just, like, you know, go out like a bulldog. I mean, you know, fucking froth out mouth. I like that. I genuinely like that. Like, cause, and I hate this whole, like, you know, civility decorum shit that, yeah, you're kind of saying you can't just seem to get respect. You know, because, like, you know, being, you know, a very loudmouth kind of fireburn kind of guy, you know, especially, ooh, oh, that was kind of weird coffee burp. But, especially when it comes to, like, an issue you're passionate about, like, you know, when it comes to, like, Palestine right now. Like, I mean, especially, you know, it's going to not really be seen as respectful because you're just, like, seen as, like, just some very emotional, loudmouth, you know, unhinged person or whatever. Even though that's not the case, usually sometimes the person who is very passionate being a loudmouth might actually be right. It has every reason to be like that. Which, arguably, Jank has every right to be such. Need to change if you want for this run. That ain't happening anytime soon. I'm not talking about his presidential run. I'm just talking about him as a person. And you know what? Like, yeah, maybe that part of the Constitution should change. Because the idea of, like, someone who happens to not be a native-born American citizen, you know, shouldn't inherently prohibit you from running for president. I mean, it's not like, you know, 1896 where, you know, you might have, like, some French spy with a fake ID or some shit trying to, like, maybe not French spy, but, you know, like, I don't know, like some, like, Tsarist Russian spy or whatever the fuck, you know, being like, oh shit, you know, let me have, like, a fake, you know, Adam Johnson type of fucking, you know, American name and, like, covert my way into American politics to presidency or something. Like, you know, at this point, you know, the likelihood that type of shit is not really likely in my mind. You know, to me, I feel like you would be able to kind of, like, catch that a little. At least on a high level like that. We already had one. Well, I mean, the thing is, like, that's another factor. It's, like, the whole premise behind it is silly because, like, what's stopping a Native American, Native American-born citizen, I mean. Not like a Native American, but, like, you know, an American, you know what I mean. Either way, but, like, you know, like, what's stopping an American citizen from, like, doing the same thing? Because there's, like, all the time that happens. Like, so, I mean, if anything, the spies, you know, spying against us are usually, like, our own people sometimes. I mean, you know, at the behest of other governments, obviously, but, I mean, you know, if you really want to see who's, like, on the ground down here, look at the dudes who, you know, probably getting a fuckload of money, you know, from foreign governments and shit, which our government is pretty much ran by. Like, we're basically like a little lottery casino house, you know, for fucking rich, you know, like, investors, like, multinational corporations, other governments. You know, it's like, we're just like the fucking world's casino over here. And your taxes are the chips. So, I mean, that's basically, it's just what it is. I mean, it's a whole fucking disgusting game. That's why I think, you know, not just because of that reason, but at least, you know, it adds to the argument of why I think that rule's bullshit. Because, like, it's already been co-opted and pretty much, like, you know, a fucking haven for, you know, other governments' interests anyway. So, I mean, it's like, what's really stopping, like, you know, like, a foreign nation for being able to, like, you know, like, spy their way into American politics, especially that deeply into it and that embedded. We already have exceptions anyway. Like, you know, we have Ilhan Omar, who's not a native born American, was not born here, born in Somalia, migrated here, and is a congresswoman. So it's like we have exceptions for, you know, for foreigners or people from, you know, who are not American-born citizens to run in politics here. So why is this an exception? I don't want President Comanche Mountain Dew. Well, you don't know how that tastes like. It might, you know, it might taste good. Just don't water your plants with it. Specific for a presidential office. Well, and I think it's kind of silly. I mean, I'm aware of that, and I disagree with it. I don't like the rules. We're not in, like, 1876 anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's an old draconian rule that I feel like just doesn't need to be there anymore. And besides, honestly, you know, there's like a lot of like, you know, elements about like Americans, you know, at least, you know, especially in the South, that will take it in a more racist way, where it's just like, you know, where it's like, oh, well, so am I, Bobby Brown, even though they are literally like, you know, maybe born here and shit. Like, well, because their parents might have, or there's like maybe some questionability behind it because of X, Y, or Z racist bigoted reason, you know, like, I know. And they're going to try to like maybe try to, you know, push, you know, the idea that, oh, they can. You know, just even despite them probably even being born here. So it's just stupid. I just think it's just a dumb, obsolete rule. Oh my God, Venom's proving my point. Great. Anyway, let's look at this clip. It's on Streamlabs, doesn't... Fuck. Okay, cool.
You're about to see is wild. This is some TYT hosts almost getting into a fist fight over Gaza and Israel. This is one of the most passionate, screaming debates I've ever seen on YouTube. And as you all know, YouTube is packed full of those sorts of debates. So this is Ben Glebe here.
The racism I heard both times he was elected. I know. So, bruh, I'm aware of it.
He has massive disagreements with Cenk and their other host on the panel here, who are very, very critical of Israel for what they're doing in Gaza. Ben is more...
I mean, forget, like, the late, you know, Bush era / the Obama era was pretty much, like, you know, what I grew up with. Like, in remembering. Like, remembering the kind of, like, the mid to kind of late part of, you know, the Bush years and, you know, the Obama years, basically. Because when Obama was elected, I was in 6th grade. Actually, I was about to end 6th grade and go in middle school. So, I basically spent my entire middle and high school, yeah, with Obama being president. I remember Clinton in 9/11. Yeah, like, shortly after 9/11 is when I kind of start having some, like, memories and stuff, or at least that I can remember on my own. But I do kind of vaguely remember, like, maybe, like, little things that probably happened, you know, prior to that. Because I do remember, at least my dad told me once, where when we were like driving around Portland or whatever, and I was asking him, hey, can we go see the towers or whatever, referring to the Twin Towers that, you know, collapsed and shit, or, you know, were attacked. And it was like, that's not in this town. That's in that's across, you know, the country in another town. I was like, oh. So, I mean, I don't really remember that, but at least, you know, that would probably be around the time where I would start, you know, having some memories and shit. So, I mean, you know, like, I kind of remember, like, kind of the early days of post 9/11. Maybe not, like, the leading months into it, but at least maybe, like, a year or two afterwards and shit. And I definitely remember, like, you know, when we made our evasions into Iraq and shit like that. I do remember seeing videos of stuff like that. Like, yeah, like, I do remember pretty specifically, like, seeing the tanks roll in on, like, this fucking ridgeline once, you know, on the outskirts of Baghdad as, like, a video that, like, CNN was having up or some shit. Like, I remember that being pretty fucking vivid in my head at, like, back in 03. Zoomer. I mean, like, most Zoomers don't remember shit like that. Like, if anything, you'd be surprised if, you know, you would hear a Zoomer tell memories about shit like that. Like, most Zoomers barely remember the last 5 years, let alone, like, fucking 20 years ago, okay? Like, I mean, it's kind of... I mean, considering that I actually have memories from straight 20 fucking something years ago, still, that are pretty fucking vivid, I think, you know, tells me that I'm not exactly a Zoomer. So...
That, you know, look, Israel, even if you don't like them, I think their intentions are good. This is sort of his position that, no, really, this is just a hunt for Hamas. They're trying to get the bad guys. And if civilians die, yeah, it sucks. But at the same time, I mean, that's war, kind of. That's his reaction. Like, that's war. And since the intentions are good of the Israeli government and the IDF, therefore, like, you can't be as hard on them as you are on Hamas, or you can't be harder on them than you are on Hamas. This is sort of his position. I'm summarizing it here. Well, Cenk is not at all buying it, and this gets into an absolute scream fest. Let's watch.
Every damn way possible, you should see the legitimacy. You both called it a genocide. It is not a genocide. The International Criminal Court will decide officially whether they think it is or not. It's a sham accusation. It's ridiculous because it is Israel defending itself. I got back yesterday from Israel. I was there for 10 days. During the 10 days that I was there, there were approximately 170 missiles launched at Israel. There were 9.
I was there for like 11 days, and oh my god, they just defended themselves from this genocide, awful. Oh, it's like, dude, this guy is literally just detached from fucking reality. He looks like a soulless fucking evil ghoul, too. Like, this fucking piece of shit better only be on TOT as being a punchy fucking bag, dude. Like, I mean, because this guy is a fucking cretinous fascist piece of shit. Like, straight up.
On the ground terrorist attacks. There were Israelis murdered.
I don't give a fuck if he calls himself a liberal, progressive, or anything else. He's not. He's a fucking fascist. Don't make any bones about it. Fuck this cretin.
In the streets while I was there. There were rockets that hit Tel Aviv near where I was. I didn't have to seek shelter because it wasn't the exact part of Tel Aviv I was in, but friends of mine did.
Well, cry me a fucking river. And fuck your friends, too.
If you are at the mercy of a terrorist organization...
At the mercy? You mean the IDF as the terrorist organization?
No, I do not mean the IDF as a terrorist organization. The IDF is defending itself against...
Oh my god. I mean, I'm just gonna honestly let a lot of this play out because, like, I'm not gonna be able to, like, fucking pause this, like, every 5 seconds to just, like, want to say how much this guy should get smacked up the head.
This genocidal monsters, these genocidal
monsters. I wonder
monsters.
what Fascist Ignore an alternate universe thinks of this. Probably hang on every word. Well, I probably wouldn't be watching Kyle Kalinske unless in that same alternate universe, Kyle Kalinske is also a fascist. But at that point, wouldn't things literally be flipped around at that point? Like, so, I don't even want to try to pretend and understand how that would work. Oh, whatever.
Hamas, and it's well documented, and everybody understands that it's an incredibly difficult situation with an incredibly unique set of circumstances of how densely populated it is, how monstrous Hamas is by using their own people as human shields, by putting all of... We're still using that because it's a fact, Cenk.
Fact.
What you're still using is genocide and ethnic cleansing, neither of which make any sense or hold the muster of fact.
It's absurd.
It is not ethnic cleansing because if you've ever been to Israel, have you been to Israel?
Why would I go to a barbarous country?
I love that. It's like, have you actually been there? Like me? A loyal puppet, fucking dog, to this fucking genocidal Nazi, fucking theocratic state? Yeah. Ever done that, buh? It's like, why? Why would I want to go to, like, a borderline fucking Naziistic fucking theocratic ethno-state shithole? Like, I mean, fuck you. Like, I don't want to go to some fucking, ethno-state backwater fucking shithole. Like, straight up. And I'm speaking Israel specifically. Like, I mean, it's like, why would I want to go there? Like, fuck that place.
That imprisons 5 million Palestinians and never lets them go.
Fucking, country full of goddamn literal bloodthirsty, like, blood sacrifice, motherfuckers. Like, they're literally just doing, like, ethnic genocidal cleansing of Palestinians and worshipping, over their spilt blood and celebrating it. So fuck these people.
Brutalizes them, murders them at every turn.
Fuck their fucking governments, and fuck, the populace that supports this shit, because most of the, the nation does support this shit. They just don't let Netanyahu making the optics look bad. That's it. Like, these motherfuckers, like, legit don't give a fuck, dude. Like, so fuck this government and fuck them. Like, I mean, they don't deserve fucking respect. These Zionistic motherfuckers do not deserve any goddamn respect. They deserve scorn. They deserve vitriol. They deserve mockery. They deserve to be fucking insulted and spat out on the fucking national stage. Fuck these people. Fuck them. And fuck them for, like, being a literal fucking insult and and just a fucking ugly, horrible fucking representation of, like, the Jewish people and shit. Because, like, across, the globe, there are a plethora of, groups, plethora of different, Jewish communities, plethora of different organizations out there that, resisting, protesting this shit. So there is uniquely, exceptional circumstance in the fact that they're manipulative, lying motherfuckers that want to try to, be the sole representation of a whole group of people in a whole fucking religion when they're not. So it's like, I mean, that's the fucking, deceptive fucking shit. And it's just disgusting. Like, I mean, like I said, these Zionistic fucks do not deserve any respect. At all.
So why would I go to that country? Are
If
you
you've ever
insane?
been-
No one go to Israel. You should never go to Israel
Right. It's
until
an
they end the
incredible-
occupation.
It's
And then
an
we love them and we go
incredible
back.
nation. It's an incredible nation, and it's the only democracy in the Middle East that
Democracy.
And you all the time use that as the example of why they should be held to a different standard than Hamas. You talk out of both sides of your mouth in this issue constantly. You say they're a democracy, so that's why they have to be held to a different standard. Then I call them a democracy, and you laugh mockingly at the only democracy that is our allies in that region. It's so ridiculous and egregious. And despite all of the evidence shown and all of the tactics that the IDF...
All right, hold on. They say they're a democracy. They say they're a civilized nation.
Which they're not. They're a Nazistic, theocratic, fascist state. I mean, that's what they are. They're a fucking theocratic, fascist ethno-state. I mean, it's like they're not a democracy. And honestly, I wish that fucking lie would just quit being fucking, pushed so goddamn much. But of course, the only ones who are going to be trying to uphold that fucking idea are Israelis and Zionists.
Okay, you want to be civilized?
Which, again, even if you actually, do take the benefit of the doubt of that, it's still not true. Like, they're, yeah, they have democracy for the supreme, people and shit. Like, when it comes to, like, lesser Jews, like Ethiopian Jews and, other, like, ethnic Jewish people and shit, oh, no, they're considered second-class citizens, too.
We should hold you to the rules and the laws of civilized nations. It should apply to you. We have the Nuremberg Tribunal, we have the Geneva Conventions, we have international law. Yeah, it should apply to you if you suck yourself off and say, we're a democracy and we're a civilized nation. We're the forces of light against the forces of darkness. Yeah, of course it should apply to you. But the point Cenk makes is, but they're not really a democracy. Look, keep it real, it's true. They're not. Just call it what it is. Call a spade a spade. They are effectively an ethno-state and a theocracy. It's a mix of an ethno-state and a theocracy.
You see teacher review Vosh strike takes. Not only that, but I saw Vosh react to that video. So, yeah.
But they are. I don't know why people struggle on that point. If you are a Zionist, the whole point is there should be an official Jewish state. Not a secular state, which is a haven for Jews. No, an official Jewish state. As in either the ethnicity or the ideology, or both, are the guiding feature and function of it. So,
and even then it fails on that fucking level. because it doesn't even really strictly hold to like any specific like philosophy of like a lot of Judaic belief systems and shit. Like, it's just a very specific, like, warped, basically, like, very ethno-statist, like, and yeah, fascistic mysticism idea of, like, what they perceive the religion of. And want to espouse that as, like, the true, real fucking way. And anyone else that disagrees and does not kowtow to that line are just, like, either self-hating, Jewish people, or just, like, it's this and that, whatever the fuck. They'll just like dismiss it as nothing more than just like, oh, what are you Nazi? That Vosh thinks both of us don't trust because well, yeah, like it's. I was talking about this last night when I started my stream before you showed up. So just watch that.
I don't see a contradiction there. He's trying to like hypocrisy burn Cenk. There is no contradiction there. You say you're a democracy. You say you're a civilized nation. So we should hold you to those standards. But also, your perception of yourself is just factually wrong, but I think deep down, of course, Netanyahu and Ben-Gvir and Smotrich, no, we're a Jewish nation. We are effectively a Jewish supremacist nation. Now, what's unfair, though, is that the name of non-Zionist Jews gets dragged down because of these evildoers, right? Like,
the evildoers. Did you just have a Bushism? Kyle, did you just have a Bushism? The evildoers. He had a Bushism, dude.
So many Jews who are leading the charge against Zionism. That groups like Not in Our Name or Not in My Name.
And if anything, I'd argue that, like, Jewish people broadly around the world agree with this sentiment. It's only specifically, like, Zionists and, the Israeli government and their populace and basically evangelical hardcore Christian types in America that agree with this shit.
Right?
And, of course, Zionist liberals, too, like this little fucktard here in the corner. Which he looks like such a despicable fuck, dude. He looks like such a detestable worm.
Now, these are groups that are like, our Judaism is not affiliated with that because they are an ethno-state and a theocracy and a barbarous supremacist movement. Okay, let's continue.
Under the advisement of what it needs to do to try to attain its objectives militarily, it does a litany of things that no other nation does. It's an average of 2.5 civilians killed.
Yeah, which is basically literally obliterating the fuck out of an entire group of people. That is pretty exceptional, yeah.
Military combatants compared to a typical ratio of other wars that's much higher compared to American wars that's 10 to 1, 12 to 1.
That's just a lie.
That literally is just, that's just absurdly bullshit.
That's just a lie. First of all, the bogus numbers from the IDF, they say, 61% of the people we killed are civilians. Well, first of all, holy shit, that is literally worse than what Hamas did on October 7th. Literally. According to Israel's own numbers. They said it was 55%, it was either 55% innocent civilians, 45% military targets, or 55%, or it's like the reverse of that. Either way, it was 55 to 45. That was Hamas's numbers according to Israel. They say, we have a 61% kill rate of innocent civilians. Well,
which is still fucking abysmal. It's just like, no, yeah, like, we're still killing them most of the time. But, hey, not that many. It's like, I mean, like, in literally any other country outside the U.S. or Israel that, would be making some statements like that would literally be cracked the fuck down on so hard it would make your head spin. Like, I mean, but yet, like I said, when it comes to U.S. or Israel doing this shit, it literally doesn't matter. Like, it's just like, that's fine.
That's horrible.
It's insane.
It's already worse than Hamas, first of all. Second of all, that's not even true. In that tally, they include all military-age men as combatants. But the overwhelming majority of the military-age men are not combatants. Hamas is 30,000 fighters out of 2.
Frankly, I'm surprised that they didn't lump in, like, just being Palestinian as that. I'm honestly surprised.
Million people in Gaza.
There are no civilians in Gaza. They're literally all combatants.
What are we talking about here? So the number, according to Euromed Monitor, the Human Rights Group, is 92% of those killed are innocent civilians. So this idea, they try so hard and they're so good towards civilians and they're the most moral army in the world. That is just total garbage. It is totally disconnected from reality.
Yet those numbers do not bother you. You say
What do you mean they don't bother me? I did a decade of shows against that.
those numbers don't affect your opinion of what's going on now, I meant to say. And you then also just make up that they're clearly trying to get the Gazan people into Egypt and displace them when that is not true. There have been some insane...
Oh my god. This guy is just like, spewing lies as truth and saying truth as lies. Like, this guy's just like the embodiment of, like, Orwellian, like, just authoritarianistic garbage, dude.
Statements from some elements in the Israeli government that are not the official position of the government. That is not what the...
Yeah, it is the official statement of the government. If you have higher-ups and officials of the government saying statements in the name of the said government, yeah, they kind of are, you dumb fuck.
Just said from the river to the sea.
He said from the river to the sea, they need...
He's talking about Netanyahu said from the river to the sea.
Which, ironically, since, like, it's a very anti-Semitic statement, and then Bibi says it, when it comes to, like, instilling a, Nazistic Jewish holy state, basically. It's just like, I mean, that's okay. But, if a Palestinian says that, you're actually the Nazistic Semite. It's just like, it's just, what topsy-turvy fucking shit is this, dude? Like, I mean, motherfuck, bro. Like, this, Like, I understand that, like, even before this shit popped off, it was already a hot button issue, but oh my fuck, dude. Like, I mean, it is, like, probably even more of a hot button issue now, more than ever, probably, at this point, because, like, the actual fucking absurd, like, delusions, that Zionists are trying to fucking push as, like, truth is just, it's fucking genuinely, like, maddening.
Their security. What are you talking about?
Oh, that's exactly what the Palestinians say. When we say from the river to the sea, they say it's political. But when it's a Muslim,
exactly not.
Genocide. No, they didn't actually do it. When it's Israel, when they're actually doing it.
I like how this guy is now starting to fucking freak out and fluster. I was like, no, he's trying to get a word in edgewise and he can't. You flabbergasted little detestable fucking weasel.
No. From the river to the sea, as they're in the middle of the genocide.
That is such an ignorant statement. That is such an ignorant statement. When the Palestinians say from the river to the sea, they...
Dude, dude, look at that look. Oh my god, dude, Jenkins just got... Hold on. Dude, he's got the look of like, I want to just body slam you on this table right the fuck now. Like, he's got this look that he just wants to body slam this little worm. Like, holy shit.
Are saying without Jews and Israelis living there,
How do you
pushing
know
them
what
into
they're
the
saying?
because
Where's
that's
Is that what a left-wing college kid means when they say from the river to the sea? Is a left...
Well, yeah, because they're obviously a plant behemoth. I mean, it's like, it's just beyond comical. Like, when people say that, I've said it before, it like they mean like the sovereignty of Palestine, and just the existence and protection of like Palestinian people and shit. That doesn't mean like the Jews or some shit. Yeah, there are definitely groups and orgs and people out there that will say it for that reason, and well, fuck them. But it's like, what is that somehow the absolute to what the whole position is? About this. It's like. Let's get in Germany. That's why my culture is now let's care more about U.S. internal politics and foreign politics. I mean, I think both should be important. They're just important for different reasons. I mean, like, I think, you should care about both just, for, more actually saying, like, why not both? Yeah, exactly. ¿Por qué los dos? Have your house in order before criticizing others. For one, America's house is never going to be ordered. Two, what is that Jordan Peterson-esque type of fucking logic? And three, like, your house doesn't have to necessarily be in order, going back to point one, to, call other people's shit out, because they might be, their house is, like, way in more disarray. Right? Like, okay, whatever.
College kid with a septum ring and pink hair, are they calling for genocide when they say from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free? If you actually talk to these people, they'll tell you, no, what I mean is a democratic, secular, one-state solution for all where everybody has equal rights. Israelis, Jews, Palestinians, Muslims, everybody has equal rights. That's what they say they mean. So are you going to take them at their word or not? Look, I agree with Ben that when a Hamas fighter says from the river to the sea, yeah, they mean no more Israelis here, no more Jews here at all. We want the whole thing. That's true, and that's condemnable when they say it. But guess what?
Infrastructure collapsing because the United States tax budget is being heavily invested and given money that could be easily going into repairing shit like that to a genocidal nation like Israel or like to Saudi Arabia or to any other foreign governments, giving them a bunch of weapons and money, to continue to fund their, incursions and genocides and shit. I mean, a lot of that money could easily be divested from that shit and, be reinvested in projects here at home. So that's why you should care about both because, for different reasons, but, it all kind of comes down to the same root because either way, you get fucked. It's more about morality. No, it's what? No, it's not. It's like, as it stands concurrently, the geopolitical paradigm is about business. Like, at the end of the day, people get fucking rich off the blood of Palestinians dying and shit. That's why this shit continues to get going, because there's a lot of fucking money made in it. Because, war is a fucking racket, and this is business to a lot of fucking, geopolitical figures. I mean, if it was about morality, I mean, Israel would not be doing their shit at this point. That shit would have been stopped a while ago. But it's not. It's about money and it's about business. If our foreign policy is to pour money in our country during domestic affairs suffer budgetary issues. Yep. At least one aspect to it. Didn't mean morality. I meant to say more than about morality. Well, that's why I also critique it. I mean, that's the problem. Like, the whole fact that, our, like, geopolitical affairs, are, morally bankrupt, but also just, like, based off of, money and business instead of, like, maximizing human prosperity globally and protection, and investing into our own planet, and like actually having diplomacy and back to based off of these ideas and shit. Like, domestically, not just in the US, but domestically all over the world, people fucking suffer for that shit. Because their governments don't, buy in their best interests. So, yeah, like, I mean, that does play a major, obviously an idea about, like, my critiques about these things. But, like, at the end of the day, what's that have to do about, like, caring about it or not? If that's so supposed making people cool, nice, and comfy. And that is a very American-centric, chauvinistic fucking take. Like, I mean, seriously, like, this is the problem with fucking imperialism. Like, because, like, it blinds, the more nuanced perspective about these issues. Because, a lot of these global issues affect you way more than you fucking think. And that's a problem. When, when our government does more of this tit-for-tat escalation and, a justification and continuation of these investments into these wars and genocides and other incursions globally and shit, that causes, that inner core to suffer. Like, and that causes, less investments into that core. I mean, it's like why do you think, like, pretty much, like, every, like, science fiction and every other, like, fiction novella, novels, and franchises out there always have, like, a theme about, like, an authoritarian government or corporation or some shit pretty much at some point collapsing because of this? Because it's bound to fail. Like, a system like that is not sustainable.
When Netanyahu says from the river to the sea, oh, we know what he means. He's in the midst of carrying out the ethnic cleansing right now. They're in the midst of doing the genocide right now. North Gaza no longer exists. It has been wiped off the map. It's been wiped off the map. So to try to act like, no, bro, he just means it for, like, protecting the security. He doesn't want to do any harm to Palestinians. What are you on, son? Whatever drugs you're on are wild. They are distorting your perception beyond belief.
Because that's actually killing them, butchering them.
That's why you've condemned the statement.
You've got a theoretical statement on one side, and on the other side, you're actually butchering.
So why did you condemn the statement? Because you know that's what it means. That's why you condemn it.
Why don't you condemn Netanyahu, that monster who just said from the river to the sea?
Because he's not saying that they need to displace the Palestinians.
Oh my god. Oh, well, Benjamin's saying it in a different way. So what he means, when he means it, it's different. Context. Yeah.
He absolutely is saying that. That is some Pollyanna-ish bullshit. Oh, Netanyahu, when he says that, he means well. He doesn't want to do harm to any Palestinians. They're in the midst of doing a genocide of Gaza, but he's only doing a genocide with good intentions for his own security. Jesus Christ.
And I do condemn Netanyahu.
Muslims can't say it. But the Israelis can say it all day long as they do it. They're murdering Palestinians as we speak.
They need to disavow a fundamentalist belief that wants to kill all Jews as a disease and not allow...
All right, so why does...
Oh my god, dude. This motherfucker using every, like, buzzword to, pull some heartstrings, dude. Like, oh my god, dude. Cenk straight up does look like he constantly wants to punch him. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Cenk legit looks like he wants to deck him in the face. And you know what? Oh my god, if he did, I would be like, let's fucking go, hell yes. I wouldn't be disagreeing with that, to be honest.
Why doesn't...
I mean, obviously, I, condemn assault and, physical violence, obviously that's not good. But if it were to happen and Cenk were to do that, I mean, I'm not gonna care.
Israelis have to disavow the far-right, ethno-nationalist, Jewish supremacist belief, which is leading to the destruction of Gaza, virtually all of Gaza, and displacing Palestinians, ethnically cleansing Palestinians. Why do you hold one standard for one side, but you don't hold it for your side? Because again, in his mind, no matter what you say, no matter what the evidence points to, he thinks Israel means well. They're trying to be moral. It's all about defense. He's actually bought that line of bullshit.
Uh-oh. Is Venom having his tanky arc? Venom having a tanky arc, guys. He's defending China. Oh shit, tanky arc. Tanky arc Venom over here. Uh-oh. He went from, like, American chauvinist to, tanky Chinese, Xi Jinping simp guy pretty quick. Like, on a dime. Damn. What's going on here? What?
I don't know how at this late you could believe that. I just don't know. They did a controlled demolition of the last university in Gaza the other day. A controlled demolition of it. How's that a hunt for Hamas? How's it a hunt for Hamas?
Where it's necessarily like Uyghurs, Tuskis, and re-education camps. And wasn't it because of international pressure they actually recently stopped doing that? I don't know if they have or not. Maybe they could be lying about that, to be fair. But I understand because of international pressure. With Shocker, it seems to work if you wanted a government to at least react and change a little bit, you know, when it comes to things like that. But either way, like, I mean, from what I understood, like, I mean, they at least, like, reduced it or something, you know, or whatever. I heard something about that for the grapevine. I'm not too sure. I mean, I could be wrong. No, are you kidding me? Well, I don't know. I mean, it was just something I heard from the grapevine about. You know, like, and I didn't really follow up with it. I was like, you know, because it was like, you know, the video I was listening to was something about, you know, something else. So I was like, well, I guess I'll look into this later. But just, I never did. But I don't know. That's why, that's why at least, it's, popping up. Because it's like, well, I know there was international pressure. But, because, like, I know China wants to have this, like, perspective of like, oh, well, yeah, we do imperialism, but we're going to kind of do it more economically instead of like, with a fucking gun, like, America's imperialism is or some shit, right? Like, so they try to kind of do a little bit more of a, like a little bit more of this, like, we're, good, kind of like perception. Doesn't mean they are, obviously. But, I mean, like, that's why I kind of figured, there would probably have been, like, at least maybe a tit for tat, like, okay, well, stop. Like, while not necessarily doing that. China did much worse to their natives. That doesn't excuse... Yeah, nor does it excuse us, either. That doesn't excuse anything. Like, what's the point?
To do it
for Han transpiration is not bad. Like, what's this weird justification for, like, fascistic authoritarianism, dude? Like, I mean, what the fuck? Like, I mean, yeah, it wouldn't be good for you, though. Nor literally anyone else. Like, and also just totally, just spits in the fucking face of, people who have generally been, like, marginalized and oppressed by, authoritarianism and supremacy and shit. Especially considering, it's coming from a career person that's saying this. So it's just like, I mean, it totally just undermines, their actual fucking, plight and shit. And it's like, I mean, because would you honestly say this to a fucking Palestinian right now that's having to deal with genocide? It's like, oh yeah, for me, it's not, going to be, that bad, for me over here. Yeah, too bad for you though, I guess. As long as I'm comfy. It's like, yeah, at that point, I could probably understand why maybe a motherfucker might, pick up a gun, at that rate. Because, like, you're just spitting in their fucking face and they see you nothing more than just, like, a fucking white devil imperialist at that point. And they probably will have a justified reason to think that at that rate. Because that's essentially just, like, the perception that you're given to a lot of, people who are heavily marginalized when it comes to, these imperialistic oppressive forces. Like, I mean, just because, oh, yeah, it's a pattern of a history, so what the fuck ever, as long as I'm comfy. I mean, that's the reason why we're in the status quo and in the fucking paradigm we're in now. It's because, yeah, people got comfy. If, forgot to see the forest for the trees.
Medieval-style siege where you stop all food, fuel, water, electricity, etc. from 2.3 million Gazans. How is that a hunt for Hamas? It is literally, by definition, collective punishment. They said, we are doing collective punishment. We don't think anybody's innocent here. So how do you look at that and say, no, they mean well, and it's just, they're just trying to go after the bad guys? I mean, I don't know how anybody can actually believe that, looking at the evidence. But I'll take him at face value that he does believe that somehow, which is just, wow, that is stunningly blind.
That might not bother you, but it does bother me as an Israeli Jew.
That's such a weak excuse. I'll tell you why.
My people,
yes, I'll tell you why.
Please.
Because you always hide, like, as if Israel's a tiny little country.
It is.
And they're so defenseless. They're so, oh my God, they can't do anything against the all-powerful Palestinians, who they imprison and take away their water, power, electricity, murder them at all terms, etc. No. If someone was actually trying to kill the Jews, Ben, I would line up in the front line with you. Are you crazy?
They just did that on October 7th.
Exactly. So you go
and they just did it when I was there. They just killed a bunch of people.
So why don't you care about Palestinian lives, man?
Of course I do.
24,000 dead, 10,000 children.
Of course
you don't care about them. You don't care about them at all.
Oh God, I love it when Jen goes all fucking fire and fury, dude. Oh, God, dude. Oh, man. I just want him to just take a swing, dude. Do it.
all you like, but you are the one condemning them to murder. So why don't you care about their lives?
Dude, I mean, if he ruffles those papers up anymore, they're just gonna literally just like combust into flames in his hands, dude. Just go Super Saiyan.
You're condemning them to a never-ending cycle. Palestinians. Palestinians. You are condemning Palestinians to murder. Because every time I suggest...
The fucking nerve of this guy, by the way. He's saying that Cenk is condemning them, like, them being the Palestinians. Like, the fucking actual legit caucasity, let alone audacity of this motherfucker, bro. Like a genuine fucking detestable worm piece of diuretical dog shit, dude.
That you put any pressure, or the world puts any pressure on Hamas to stop, you say, they're terrorists. You can't ever tell them to stop, so you can only tell Israel to stop, which, as you know...
Ben, this is really easy. I hope you're watching, even though you're not. Just pay attention. This is very simple. Norm Finkelstein said this. I have no problem at all. In fact, I think the best solution, go and arrest all of the Hamas leaders who no doubt were involved in the planning of October 7th. Go and arrest all of their remaining leaders. And by the way, a lot of them are in Qatar. Some of them are in Turkey. Go arrest them. If you have to bribe the Qatari government to do it, bribe the Turkish government to get it, that's fine. Go arrest them. Bring their ass to the International Criminal Court or the International Court of Justice. Try them on war crimes charges and lock them up forever. But you should also do that with Netanyahu and Ben-Gvir and Smotrich and whatever.
And pretty much like literally every other like higher up in the Israeli government at this point.
Other Israeli commanders and generals are out in the field saying, have the directive. Kill everything in sight, even our own people. Whoever's making the decision to do a total siege, which is leading to the starvation.
Trying to stare down a barrel of a serious economic downturn. Yeah, that's, I mean, they're not really a rising star. I mean, that's also kind of partly why they're building up like their navy and their kind of military aspect of things, because they're trying to kind of like, you know, like America does a lot, distract their people. You know, distract them from that economic downturn, because, I mean, this has been a rising issue that, you know, China's government's been having to deal with. There's been a lot of like different strikes, protests, and things like that that's been kind of happening more on a frequent level in China lately. And, you know, the part of the reason why you don't really hear too much about it is because, I mean, China's trying to suppress that information because they try to make themselves look good on the global level. But for what is available, I mean, you know, shit pops off pretty frequently. You know, so, like, when it comes to these strikes, like, they try to crack down on that shit hard when they do happen. So, I mean, you know, but it's happening on a more frequent level. So, it's like, they're facing some pretty similar issues like, you know, America is to an extent. And, you know, they probably are going to handle it differently, you know, but, you know, who knows? To get uppity. And, yeah, and a lot of Chinese populace, you know, is getting pretty uppity. Like, I mean, this whole, like, you know, economic, like, stress and shit that, you know, people are feeling, it's a global thing. Like, people all over the fucking world are feeling it. You know, it's just that, like, you know, because there's also been a lot of mass protests going on in Russia again. Like, that's been starting to pop off a lot more, you know, and shit, because people are fucking disenfranchised there. Probably have been they have been for quite a long fucking time. But now that shit's popping off more. You know, and starting to rise some more and shit. Like, you know, like I said, China's starting to see this a little bit more on a frequent level. We've been seeing it here. In Europe, it's been happening. Like, it's a global fucking thing. I mean, it was like a couple years ago, like one of the biggest fucking strikes in India not too long ago with the, you know, farmer strike that like half the fucking nation partook in, basically. So, I mean, it's, you know, like, and they've also been since then having, you know, other strikes and stuff like that too. It's a global thing. Like, everyone's fucking feeling it. Regardless of where the fuck you come from, pretty much. Chinese business, when they want something done, you don't have rights there. Good luck if you call with a gun. If they want you to do something, you're going to do it. Yeah. And, you know, and honestly, that type of conditioning, you know, evidently starting to crack there. I mean, you know, it's maybe not, like, as much, you know, as we think, you know, but I don't know. It does seem like it is starting to crack, though. That's for sure. Sounds like solution is global unification, which I'm an advocate for. And the thing is, I mean, you know, it's like, yeah, call me an optimist, at least on this issue, but I do think, you know, at least a lot of, like, the foundations to kind of get into, like, maybe at least some, you know, first steps into, like, a more, you know, like, kind of more global unified, you know, sense, at least maybe on a more broader, you know, like, kind of populist level. I mean, you know, I think it can be possible. The idea that everyone's dedicated success of the state is starting to erode. Yeah. I mean, especially considering there's a lot of, you know, people in China that do use VPNs and things like that and check out, you know, Western internet and stuff just as much as their own stuff. Global government would have problems, resources, and manpower to fix these problems. Yeah, and I don't necessarily disagree with that. I guess it also depends on what that world government will look like, too, to be fair.
Of thousands and thousands of people, which is leading to people dying from thirst. Whoever is making those decisions, lock them up too, and throw away the key. So, war crimes on both sides. How's that? Now, would Cenk agree with my position? I'm sure he would agree with my position. So, you want to talk about even-handed?
Frankly, anyone with a brain could agree to that, to be honest with you. I mean, like, you know, like, as far as I'm concerned, you know, it's like anyone with a brain can understand, it's like, yeah, when people, you know, do criminal acts, especially against the civilians predominantly, yeah, lock them up, throw away a key, you know, as far as I'm concerned, Nuremberg them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Nuremberg trial their ass, you know, like, but, you know, like, that should be pretty, you know, self-explanatory in my opinion. Like, yeah, that includes, you know, Hamas, that includes, you know, fucking, you know, who's the leadership too, if you want to lump them in as well. That includes, you know, the Israeli government higher-ups. You know what? Even make some of the fucking, you know, American politicians complicit with this shit too.
Commits a war crime should be held accountable for that war crime. Full stop. Full stop. But, you know, my guess is, his take would be, yeah, sure, do it for the Hamas people, but then Yahoo, no. He means well. They mean well.
Okay, I feel like Venom's, you know, getting way too LARPy over here. Jesus Christ, he's playing too much Crusader Kings or Hearts of Iron or something.
The Israeli government means well. He has condemned Netanyahu at various points, but if you say, is he a terrorist, as they're about to ask him, he'll say no. It's like, okay, so then who's the one that really has the double standard here? You do.
Means that this war will end, Hamas will regroup, they will kill more Israelis, and Israel will kill more Palestinians. And that's what you want. That's what you're advocating for.
Insane, Ben.
That's exactly what you're advocating
I want a two-state solution
So
where you
do I.
actually have peace.
So do I.
But not Netanyahu.
That's a horrible statement he makes. That should not be the position.
Terrorist, right?
When you add, no, not terrorist.
Of course he does. He just said for emergency, and he's actually doing it.
Said
He's
for
20
security.
times the terrorist
I
Hamas
will be
is.
with you if he actually encourages.
He's doing it,
the
man. What
displacement.
more do you need?
Not
48,000?
one person's been displaced out of Gaza.
Are
Not
you
one.
insane?
Out of Gaza. Not
What, did he just, wait, did he just say that not one person's been did he just fucking say that?
Gaza,
No.
Oh my, he said not one person has been displaced out of Gaza.
Holy fuck. That made my head spin. Like, how do you even respond to that? Like, what actual insane, unhinged, delusion, schizophrenic shit is this? Like, oh my god, he's like frothing out the mouth like a fucking, like a methed out schizophrenic, like tweaking on a street, like straight up, like holy shit. Like, what is this? Oh,
Shit. There's 2.3 million people in Gaza. 1.955 million have now lost their homes.
by one
They are-
person you mean a majority of Gaza? Then yes, pretty much like all of it at this point. But yeah, pretty much yes.
They are displaced. He said, oh, not one has been displaced out of Gaza. If the Israeli government got their way, they already tried to push Egypt to open up the Rafah border to set up a tent city in the Sinai Desert to finish the ethnic cleansing.
It did probably bomb that too.
This idea that, like, it's okay to make 1.955 million people to bomb their houses and put them in a little tiny corner of Gaza where they're going to get bombed again. Ben, Jesus Christ, holy shit.
Push into a
But that's
little
what you're
corner where
saying
they're being
he's
bombed.
That's what you're saying he's doing. Why doesn't Egypt allow any refugees? Why doesn't
Damn, dude.
Corner where they're being bombed.
That's what
Dude,
you're
make that a GIF or something. Holy shit. Oh, dude, look at him. Oh my god, he is red in the fucking face, dude. Dude, he is fire and fury mad. Like, holy moly. I know, dude. I love it, though. This is the fucking energy, you need sometimes, man. Because, like, the actual insane delusions that this fucking detestable dog piece of shit is just, like, literally just, like, straight up. That's Alex Jones level mad. I mean, dude, this is why I say, you know what? I think it actually is on the level of, like, when Cenk went on his stage on, like, that, when, like, back in 2015, when, Jimmy Dore spat on him too and all that shit, that whole cabal. Dude, I feel like, you know, it really is on that level, I think. You know what? I feel like this kind of surpasses it in a sense.
He's doing? Why doesn't Egypt allow any refugees? Why
Because that's the displacement.
No,
Come on, don't be thick-headed.
voluntary displacement, like happens at every war.
He doesn't really have much of a head to think with there, bud.
At the beginning of
Voluntary? Did you just say that was a voluntary displacement?
What was?
No,
The possibility of going into Egypt would be voluntary. Like in the first month of the Ukraine-Russia war, 5.9 million people were allowed in, but for some reason,
So he sees no problem with that. He sees no problem with displacing 1.955 million Gazans out of 2.3 million. He sees no problem with that. Because something hunt for Hamas. So that grandma and that infant and that toddler, your house has to be bombed and you have to leave there, and who knows where you're going to get your next meal from. Who knows the next time you're going to get clean water. But there's no hospitals functioning, so you're not going to be able to get help.
Venom, are you just trying to troll around right now?
If you lose your arm or a leg or whatever.
What are you doing?
He thinks, well, it's just war. This is what happens in every war. So,
Why is it like 90% of the time whenever we're watching something, you literally like, you know, like the comments aren't really exactly like related to this at all?
Oh my God, man.
those neighbors, their fellow Muslims, don't allow them in. Not one person. They condemn them to death.
That's the ethnic cleansing when you drop them from their homes.
During war, temporary displacement.
Next FDR. Oh, yeah, because I'm sure FDR totally did, you know, justifications for literal ethnic cleansings around the world. Yeah, you know, like when it comes to, like, at least Palestine is. Yeah, totally, yeah.
One thing.
He said temporary displacement. Ben, how much would you like to bet they never go back to North Gaza? Literally ever. How much you want to bet, Ben? We already have videos coming out of North Gaza where the IDF is putting Israeli flags every 30 feet. You already have some real estate firms talking about, would you like a beautiful condo, some beachfront property in Gaza? Because the goal is the resettlement of Gaza. Don't take my word for it. Take Ben-Gvir's word for it. Jesus, man, how Pollyannish and naive. All right, look, we could stop it here. This goes on. It's a 28 or 29-minute video. Go watch the whole thing.
I don't know if I would be able to handle all that. I'm not going to lie. I don't think I could. I mean, Kyle, thanks for the request or, you know, the encouragement, but no. Like, yeah. I mean, you know, that last little bit of like, bah, 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 dude, that needs to be a GIF. I'm not even kidding. Like that, like, I mean, that's legit good. See, like when fucking Jank goes all like fire and fury, I genuinely love it. Like, that's why, you know, like sometimes, I don't really agree with like all of his takes about things and shit. Like, but, when he is right though, and especially when he goes all like, fire and fury mode with it, like, goddamn, it is cathartic, dude. I love it. It's so cathartic because, I mean, we really need, like, some fucking aggressive energy like that. Like, I wish more people will be like that. Maybe not as, like, maybe like a notch down. He broke the knob from 11 to 12, so it's like, got, bring it back down to 11 at least. We can't go too hardcore and break the amp and cause it to literally go combust into flames. That actually happened at a house show one time. But, but either way. You know what I'm saying. Yahoo's a dead man walking his road to report attacks on Gaza operations. I mean, like, some better fucking give the shit, that's for sure, because it's ridiculous. Yeah, like, but, every now and then we gotta, have our little dose of this out of the way. So I got my, Israeli-Palestine talk, out of the way for today. My dose has been done. Here, again, we'll Streamlabs for a second there. Let's see. Make sure we're good. Okay, cool. So... But... man. Wrap it up, alright. Well, move on. Don't tell me what to do. I already have the screen off. Oh my god. I can't believe how long we streamed without a crash last night. Dude, I'm honestly kind of surprised. Like, because this fucking app is, like, unpredictable about when it wants to do that shit. Like, it really is infuriating. Because it seems like sometimes it's fine, but then sometimes it's like... it just doesn't even understand. What's it telling you to move on? Lol. I was saying I prefer Israel rap. I was just people to move on. Well, that's not going to happen anytime soon. Even Netanyahu's like been very adamant about basically saying like, "Yep, we're not stopping, and we ain't going to stop at least till 2025." And even then, he probably won't either. Then, so DeSantis drops out after a week after ChatGPT bans its use for political campaigns. Coincidence? Honestly, yeah, probably. At least to a slight extent. Just because, like, he was running out of donor money and just donors and just, well, relevance, just in general. So, I mean, like, you know, I wouldn't really necessarily be too surprised. And I wasn't he caught using, like, AI and shit before for ads and stuff? So, I mean, I would say a little bit. But, I mean, I don't know. I'd say at least like 40%. 40% quinky dink. Maybe a little less. That's just being kind of more liberal about it. It's going to do an executive order to make weed illegal in the whole country in its first 90 days. Yeah, good luck with that. Trump going to give him the filthy. You mean DeSantis? DeSantis going to give that to Trump. Why would Trump blow DeSantis? Like, it's the other way around. But the cops will comply. Honestly, around here, I mean, probably not. Frankly, I mean, the whole West Coast, there's not going to be a way to do that, honestly. It's like, the backlash, at least especially just on the West Coast alone, would be pretty immense. See, like, the shit like that just would not happen just due to the fucking response of it. Even if it, like, you know, even if it were to, let's say, you know, be done, it would be likely reversed pretty fucking quickly. Just out of the sheer fucking backlash of it. So, I don't know. I don't really see that being a thing that's going to happen. Even if it did, just like I said, the backlash from that would be pretty fucking immense. Because, dude, there's even, like, conservative, you know, types and shit that like weed and smoke weed. So even conservatives would be pissed off about that. Like, weed is legit one of those few issues in America where it is kind of nonpartisan. I mean, you know, it's just so, like, I don't know about that, dude. Like, even, you know, the, you know, weird-ass, like, Nazi down the street probably likes to smoke weed and chief up, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's, you know, like I said, it really is kind of a nonpartisan thing at this point. If this was, like, you know, in, like, 2013 or something, when, like, the states were first just trying to push this through, that would be one thing. But it's like a decade later. Like, I don't think that would be able to be achieved. Read it. It's in there. I have, and it's basically a lot of that shit is pretty much just what Republicans have been wanting to push since Reagan's been a thing. Like, I mean, a lot of it is pretty much, you know, just like an adoption of, you know, a lot of Reaganistic politics, but just, you know, and taking it to the extra level. I mean, it's, you know, they've been enacting and trying to push these policies and have, you know, even pushed some of that during fucking Bush's administration. Like, you know, the whole No Child Left Behind policy was literally meant to, you know, fuck over poor and impoverished school districts, you know, that couldn't keep up with the national standardized testing and shit. And essentially was a way to punish, you know, marginalized communities, you know, and their education. It was basically a way to gut education without necessarily overtly gutting it. You know, it's like kind of a sly, you know, slick way to try to, you know, move past it. Like, oh, we're going to, like, you know, gut education, you know, totally. They basically just, like, you know, put a nice little phrase around it, and then, you know, just, like, do it, you know, from the side, and then make people more antagonistic and more have more animosity towards public education because now they're not, you know, being as effective anymore. And then you can now slide the premise of like, well, this is why we need private education. I mean, it was like, and that's, like in one way that, they've been able to at least, fuck over education, and that was during the Bush era. So, I mean, these, like, this shit that they want to do, when it comes to the Project 2025, agenda is basically the GOP's agendas, like, literally since Reagan. I mean, like, I'm not exactly, really heavily bought by the fear-mongering on it. Gonna take away your rights. Oh my god. Again, I don't buy the fear-mongering, dude. They're trying to take your rights. Big difference. Well, yeah, that is true. And honestly, I mean, considering that, like, most of the populace, kind of sees a lot of the more extreme far right and, like, the fascistic and Nazi right, basically, as, like, kind of ridiculous to an extent. Like, you have, like, an Oklahoma governor saying he wants, like, animal control to, like, deal with furries, for fuck's sake. It's like, I mean, it's like, it's like the GOP basically has, like, a weird little, like, side skirmish war with the furries over here. So, I mean, when it comes down to it, like, they're making themselves look pretty fucking ridiculous. I mean, and, like, a lot of especially when it comes to their whole, like, anti-trans woke type of shit, like, at this point, people have been pretty fucking privy, to that narrative now, and at this point are, kind of convincing people away from their positions more so than winning people over. So, I mean, it's like, yeah, they're trying to push all these fucking anti-trans bills and this and that, and shit. And the thing is, I mean, like, most of that isn't going to pass. It isn't going to, make it through, especially considering the backlash that would have in their local politics in the states. Political apathy. And, and honestly, there's, been a lot of aspects where that political apathy has been, being channeled, in recent years into different things. So I think you underestimate people, just continuing to just, like, take the whip. Because I also, in a way, am, like, kind of political apathetic to various different things, despite, obviously, me talking about, my, interest in them to an extent. But, at the end of the day, it's like, I am, I do recognize kind of just, like, the reality for kind of what it is, so to speak. So it's just like, to me, it's like, well, let's just, I'll, like, it's like selective apathy, I suppose. And it's not really necessarily apathy, it's just prioritization. Like, I obviously, hold on, I want to make sure my dog stays inside. But, because obviously there's certain things that I, like, can't change, so to speak. But there is a lot of things that can't be done that I can't do so. And here, I'm going to get the coat on too, because it's a little nippy. Stretch. Because, I mean, sacrifice? What are you talking about? Like, I mean, whatever, man. Okay, what? Look, dude, I don't know why you get into, like, these spells of just, like, basically the end is nigh, but, dude, it's not. Okay, like, I mean, come on. Oh, what, are you now butthurt that you're inside? Yeah, get over it. Biden's so evil. Like, man, you're lucky I'm about to go to work. It's full of shit. Is he sleeping? No, he's that was me doing the stretch and yawning. I was like, stretch, and that was me. But no, he's over here. You know, honestly, I cannot wait for Friday and Saturday, you know, for karaoke and shit, because, it's going to have some new drip. It's going to have that, you know, LED light up at the night, you know, on a good walk, so he's, you know, seeing drip, dude. It's going to light up for the ladies. Venom, oh my god. Oh, yeah, fucking yeah. Well, I'm smoking his bowl. Venom's off on a fucking spell. If you're gonna, you know, like, you know, hey, you have ability to stream. Why don't you do a stream a rant about it or something? Because I gotta go work, so. Ay, ay, ay. Results for everyone but Junior was office. There was. There were anti-war protests that, you know, happened all the time during Bush's era. And protests against... What? Oh my god. Oh my god, I should totally have one of those. Didn't you have to say I accept scritches? Oh my god, yes. Oh, hell yeah, I want one. Oh, dude, he could have some bling and have multiple collars on, because I'm not going to use the collars to, you know, have the leash on. I have the harness for that. But, oh, dude, I could get my dog all dripped out, dude. Give him the drip. I could literally have it say, got drip. I got the drip, dude. Doggo drip. Smoking arena right now. Nice. Yeah, I'm going to catch the last syllabus bowl, then I should now finally head off to work. Pippin, dude. The Pippin Pup, bro. The Pimpin' Pup Zukov. Bill Clinton was based. Okay, what? Venom's just trying to fucking get a rouse on me before I leave. Anyway, peace out. Of course, I'll be back around for the next one, which will be after work. So, toodaloo, buckaloo.